Great thing about opening day.
All right, Huey, thank you very much. And it's time to bring in one of the other new members of our crew, Corey Sullivan. And
hey,
Corey,
guys, how you doing?
We're doing well. You are very familiar with opening days and special moments. What do you recall most?
Well, first I'd like to say, Spilly, you're still a kid, so you don't have to worry about that. But my favorite moment absolutely was the 2005 opening day as well. I got lucky. I got to come in for a former Rocky, Matt Holliday, on a double switch and was able to get a big hit in that comeback inning against Trevor Hoffman. Happened to be my first big league at bat, and luckily it was the catalyst to Clint's walk-off home run.
No one who's a Rockies fan, casual or hardcore, will ever forget that. And Sully was in the middle of it. You ready to go, man?
Let's get it on. I mean, I'm ready to see this Rockies baseball team win some games.
Absolutely. I think there's 50,000 that would agree with you. We are moments away. The Rockies and Diamondbacks, the home opener, Coors Field, lower downtown Denver. Come on back with us. Deep center field and gone. Stop it! Oh my goodness, what a play! And the Rockies are going to win it. Rockies ready to roll. Juan Nicasio will be on the hill for Colorado. Randall Delgado for Arizona. First pitch, home opener, 2014. Next. Colorado Symphony putting on a beautiful performance, and with that, the Rockies take the field for the first time at Coors Field in 2014. That is Gerardo Parra, now kind of a veteran. Grew up playing minor league baseball with one Carlos Gonzalez. They remain good friends. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Coors Field is jumping. Crowd around 50,000 expected. And the new rooftop is in full swing, and man, that looks like the place to be in lower downtown Denver on game day or game night.
Yeah, how neat is that, huh? What a great addition to this ballpark.
What a fabulous addition, and it's great for all the fans. But you know what? You would not know that it wasn't part of the original architecture. And that's neat, too. And the sun is cooperating. It's coming out. All right, let's take a look at the Diamondbacks batting order. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Diamondbacks began the season in Australia. They had a pit stop back in Phoenix, and now here they are in Denver. They're off to a 1-5 start. They have one of the game's best hitters in Paul Goldschmidt. He'll follow Aaron Hill. Martin Prado will bat cleanup. He had his best year offensively last season. The veteran Miguel Montero behind the plate. Mark Trumbo comes from the Angels. He's got big-time pop. Chris Owings, one of the top 2 or 3 prospects in their organization, will play shortstop at bat 7. A.J. Pollock, who was a rookie last year, will bat 8th in center field. And the former Brave farmhand, Randall Delgado, will pitch and bat 9th. Juan Nicasio's numbers brought to you by Inova. Learn more about outpatient prostate cancer treatment in only 5 sessions at InovaCC.com. Good spring, George, for Juan.
Had a very good spring and a very good career so far against the National League West. He's 8-4 versus the West, 5-1 a year ago versus the National League West.
Juan is ready to go. And Gerardo Parra stepping in. Nicasio did a much better job in spring training of developing his off-speed pitches. He still has the strong fastball. George, the biggest thing may be the health of his knee.
Well, the health overall completely. Where your body is fully clear of any pain when you throw a baseball, it is a great feeling. An awful lot of guys play this game, pitch in this game for a long time, that 2 Advil seem to kill and knock the pain off. It's nice to go out without it.
Well, 2 pitches and you get a ground ball to DJ LeMahieu. That works. Aaron Hill will be coming up. Let's take a look at the Rockies defense, brought to you by Excel Energy. We'll do it after this pitch. Aaron Hill hitting .273 through the first half-dozen games. Guy you got to be careful with. He is a guy with a compact swing and one of the few second basemen in the game that hits for big-time power. And that misses. It's 2-0. Aaron Hill against the Rockies in his career, a .367 hitter with 6 home runs and 28 driven in. Rockies playing him to hit to right center field right now. The 2-0 is in there at 92. It's 2-1.
You have the ability as a pitcher to pitch to your defense. In the past, it was a thrower on the mound in Nicasio. Now they're very confident if they want to pitch away, play away, they have the ability to do that.
Got that in on the knuckles. Rode in on him, and it's 2-2.
A lot of times you will pattern your defense based upon a swing of a batter. In other words, if you watch that time, Aaron Hill really dropped that back elbow, which changes the plane of the bat that it's going to hit the ball to the right side. that swing's repeated, it helps you set defensively.
Set up away, fastball right on the outside corner. See you later at 94. Boy, did he ever paint there.
This kind of command down in the strike zone on a Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, right to the center of the body of Willeen Rosario.
Now there's the Rockies defense we promised you. Brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Gonzalez, Blackman, Kadire. Infield of Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Morneau, Rosario behind the plate. One and one on Paul Goldschmidt, runner-up to the MVP award in the MVP voting last year in the National League. Andrew McCutchen captured that award. Great center fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates. This guy just mashes. I mean, just is a masher, and he hits for average too. It's not just home runs and RBIs. He hits for average also. A year ago, 302. Tied for the league in home runs with 36. He drove in 125. And, you know, because of carryover, George, to last year, as you look at Kirk Gibson, he has a 25-game hitting streak going.
Yeah, this is a very good hitter. As a big man with power, a lot of times you don't see the high average. But with him, you do. And the ability to steal a base. He's a lot better athlete than a lot of first basemen when it comes to his speed and his ability to do things. You want to take away the power, you go inside with the fastball. Pretty good pitch from Nicasio that does not get called.
Here's the 3-1, and he loses him. So a walk to Goldschmidt, and that'll bring up Martin Prado. The Ford Strike Zone is powered by Ford Cars, big MPGs. Smart technology and unsurpassed quality. See what happens when fun meets the road. Ford, go further. And we'll be showing you that Ford Strike Zone on a regular basis throughout the game. Get a feel for where that pitch went across. And as we've told you in years past, it's not just, you know, sitting up there like you drew it up, and whether a guy's 6'4" or 5'8". It is measured by batting stance of every player in the big league. So if you get a kid like Giancarlo Stanton, who we saw in Miami, it's going to be a different zone than a Martin Prado.
Yeah, you set it to the batter.
Two outs. Goldschmidt, who can run, is at first base. Here's Prado. And Prado takes a strike. Prado just 1 for 11 career-wise against Juan Nicasio. You know, that's the first walk for Goldschmidt this year, and that's surprising because they've played 6 games, 2 against the Dodgers, and then the 4-game set, as this is fouled off, that they just completed with the Giants. George, there had to be some situations there where you'd rather pass on Goldschmidt and face somebody else, Prado or anybody else. Would there have been?
The intentional, unintentional walk.
Yeah, I mean, you basically saw that from Juan just now. He said, I know it's first inning, there's nobody on base.
2 guys in their lineup right now that are hot. Goldschmidt's one of them, Trumbo the other.
And Trumbo is batting 6th. He's not right behind Goldschmidt, obviously, or even behind Prado. This is in the air to shallow right. Good jump, Michael Kadire. He's going to get there in foul ground. Very nice start for Juan Nicasio. We'll see the Rockies' big bats when we come back. 48 right now. The high is supposed to reach into the mid-50s. And this is a shot from the rooftop, which has been busy, George, for a couple of hours.
It looks so pretty up there. You know, just looking, the sun's right into you. Everybody's on the railings. Everybody's down. They're eating. They're having fun, having their favorite beverage.
Yeah, life is easy up there. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off for the Rockies. He was the starting center fielder on opening day. This is his third start. Walt Weiss's batting order is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Then it's a group that he wants to see hit together on virtually every night if possible. Cuddyer, Cargo, Tulowitzki, Morneau, Rosario, Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu. Cuddyer off to a great start defending his batting title of a year ago. He brings a .412 average into the ballpark, and he takes strike one. Talking about Charlie Blackmon taking strike one. It'd be hard for Michael to take strike one. He's still in the on-deck circle. Blackmon a .382 career average in 14 games against the D-backs. Randall Delgado throws a lot of strikes. Used to be one of the top prospects in the Atlanta organization. He was part of the Justin Upton, Chris Johnson, Martin Prado deal. And there's a base hit right center field. Charlie hustling, and he's going to hunt a second bag, and he'll get a double.
Fastball changeup predominantly from Delgado. He'll use his fastball 67% of the time, particularly in even counts. Charlie, good job of a high heater and taking it into right center. He knows in this ballpark, and you can see EY Sr. with the hand waving to go for two because of where the ball was hit and had to be cut off. Turned the other way to try to get there. Here on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermost, see a ball away from you, allow Charlie to extend those arms and pull the ball into center.
And you can tell by that swing, Michael Cuddyer, who he's brag on, is professional, a player as there is in the game.
And who
he's
really
not hit two-hole really ever in his career. He was trying to push the ball the right side of the diamond.
And the guy that really appreciates that is Carlos Gonzalez in the on-deck circle, because now the fly ball, the base hit, so many ways to score him.
Two-strike count on Cuddyer. Let's take a look at the big hit presented by Mako, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. Yesterday, the Rockies lost 8-5. They blew a 3-run lead on a couple of occasions. Michael Cuddyer helped get them that early 3-run lead with his first big fly of the year, a 2-run home run. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $449. Inside 1-2. Leadoff double, Charlie Blackmon. Bottom of the first inning, no score.
Great block. The ball hit about 6-8 feet out in front of home plate.
And Montero
did a good job.
Georgie, Montero does a great job blocking the baseball. He's really improved going back to when he came up defensively. This one, you have to have some good fortune too.
Well, you have to have a lot of luck with it, but he just gave up his body, took the glove in the hand to try to cover up so it didn't get between his legs, and then just took the shot off the chest protector.
2-2 on Cuddyer. Cargo will be next. 3-2. Delgado making his third career start against the Rockies.
Much better at home in 2013 than he was out on the road. An earned run average of 332 at home, and out on the road 544.
To the right side and on past a diving Paul Goldschmidt. Here comes Blackmon to the house. They'll throw behind, and Cuddyer dives back in. 1-0 Rockies. Michael Cuddyer coming through.
Yeah, to the home run yesterday. Now the single down the right field line. 5 RBIs for the batting champion of 2013, Michael Cuddyer. Fought off a pitch and just hit it down the first base line. A lot of times it's not because you're trying to direct it. It's the pitch, the swing, the lateness of the swing, and he's able to put that ball by Goldschmidt, but then the close play coming right back in to the bag, and it does look like Michael got there. Missed him.
And in that case, it was a bonus for Kadire because we talked about it. He was doing everything he could to hit the ball to the right side to move the runner 90 feet. And not only did he move him 90 feet, he moved him 120 feet, and he's on base for Cargo.
The Rockies in 2014 with less than 2 outs and runners in scoring position have hit .409. Big number.
Snap throw won't get Kadire. The numbers on Delgado brought to you by Inova. Treat prostate cancer painlessly in only 5 sessions with minimal side effects. Visit InovaCC.com.
You see last season's numbers: 19 starts, 1 complete ball game last year, 5 and 7. In spring training, they were pretty much set on the fact they would send him to the bullpen until Corbin was hurt. When Corbin got hurt, Delgado won the battle against the heralded Archie Bradley, their #1 pitching prospect, #2 in all of baseball. Changeup. He'll throw this about 27% of the time. Pretty good location with it also. I thought it was an interesting comment the other day. I read it by Mark Wiley, that a lot of young Latin players or pitchers have very good changeups because they're signed at 16, 17 years old, and it's fastball, command, changeup because they don't want to hurt their arm with the slider, the curveball. They haven't had that much coaching or attention put to them in the world of pitching. So he said a lot of them have very good changeups because that is their main secondary pitch.
This is bounced towards second. Hill has it for 1, and Owings will double up Cargo at first. Two outs. Troy Tulowitzki will approach. Xcel Energy defensive alignment for Arizona. Make the choices that fit your life, and Xcel Energy will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Mark Trumbo played more first base with the Angels. We'll see how he handles left field. Here's George affectionately calls it the Ponderosa. Parra is a 2-time Gold Glover. Great arm, one of the best arms in baseball. And there's Trumbo.
Well, one way to look at it, I guess he can always just wait till it stops rolling and throw it back in.
That's what Uke used to do with the when he was catching, he said.
Well, but on a guy like him, he's got an average arm. It's not a great arm, an average arm. So what you have to do is you make sure Owings gets out deep to help him on that cutoff. So he takes the longer throw for you.
Ball on a strike on Tulowitzki. Had a couple hits yesterday with help from Giancarlo Stanton, who was unable to get to a blooper, and then he lost the ball in the seats, the glare of the empty seats, which is not unusual at Marlins Park, and it turned into a triple for Troy. Hitters will tell you, I earned every one of those because there were a bunch of loud outs.
It gets evened out, trust me. Yeah, it's going to get evened out over the course of the season where guys hit those line drives right at guys all the way to the wall, caught over the wall, brought back for an out.
Here's the 1-2. George mentioned Patrick Corbin, who would have started opening day. He had a sensational season last year. Won his first 9 ball games, was an NL All-Star, and he is one of many pitchers that have had Tommy John surgery here in the last few weeks.
They took an uppercut and a right cross because they lost Corbin, and then 2 weeks later Hernandez went down with it also.
Yep, David Hernandez, their setup man.
Similar to what the Atlanta Braves went through with Beachy and Medel, 2 starters that they had counted on for anywhere realistically 25 to 35 wins.
Something about that Atlanta uniform, though. Aaron Harang, he's pick up late, shows up, puts the Braves uniform on, has a no-hitter going to the 7th.
And all the other guys that said don't sign him are all saying, what a great man, I knew we could get that guy.
Right.
Right.
Here's the 3-2. And that's a fair ball. Prado on the move will throw out Tulowitzki by half a step. Rockies get a run. Charlie Blackmon with a double. Michael Kadire delivered him.
With a 1-0 lead, you've got a wide shot right now of the brand new Rooftop, the party area, the place to be. What they did was convert 3,500 seats in this area behind me, and they put in 38,000 square feet of just a good time is what it is. Everybody is up here. Drew George, this place is packed. You can look up top. You got another level above me. The Rooftop, it's going to be the place to be in Lodo. Believe me.
It looks like it. It looks like it's the place to be today, that's for sure.
Beautiful day.
By the way, the Rockies 33-10 last year when they scored first at Coors Field.
Yeah, there are not going to be too many days that that's not one of the happening spots in the metropolitan area. Miguel Montero will step up. Miguel went through an injury-plagued 2013. His offensive numbers down from what they normally are. The better hitting catchers in baseball dealt with the balky back last year. Chatting with him earlier this afternoon, he said he feels 100% better. Here's the 1-0, and that's fouled off. 1-1.
Always been a Rockies killer too. A guy that really swung a bat and did it with authority.
That's a strike. 1-2. Mike Malinsky is the home plate umpire. He's joined by Mike Winters at first, who's the crew chief, Mark Wegner and Andy Fletcher also. This is the 7th time that the Rockies have opened up against the Diamondbacks. Keep in mind the Diamondbacks have only been around since '98. Here's the 2-2. 3-2.
because of Nicasio's health, you can see there's a different edge about him on the mound now. The confidence that he had as a minor league pitcher, and when he first got up before the injury started, is back again. Confident he could be that guy, and felt very honored when they named him the starting pitcher for opening day here at Coors Field.
On the ground, a DJ LeMahieu. Well, one of the great scenes in baseball on opening days is when all the players, the training staff, and the coaches, and the equipment folks are all announced, and they stand with their heels on either the first base line or the third base line. Arizona will do that 4 times this year. They did it at home a few days ago at Chase Field. They'll do it in a few days when the Giants go home for the first time at AT&T. Obviously today they did it, but the first time they did it was down in Sydney, Australia, when they took on the Dodgers. Both teams were introduced at the cricket grounds there that was built in the 1850s. Becomes the oldest place that has ever been home to a Major League Baseball game. Sydney grounds got transformed, and they turned out almost 80,000 people for the 2 ball games total. Here's the 0-2, and Trumbo takes it 1-2. Big Mark Trumbo.
He is big. Adapted well to the National League, hitting nearly 290. 2 home runs, 8 RBIs already on this young season. He and Casey McGee are crushing the RBIs.
This is in the air to center field. Blackman's right there, 2 outs. Rockies fans, once again this year, we will answer your questions during Toyota Talk. Text those questions to Toyota, followed by, text Toyota first, followed by your question to 720-720. And we'll get to them in the 5th inning. 2 outs, Chris Owings at the plate, MVP of the PCL last year, Pacific Coast League.
And how good was he at the Arizona Diamondbacks? Traded a couple of their top prospects, Adam Eaton and Matt Davidson, a third baseman, to the Chicago White Sox for Addison Reed, the closer now for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So Eaton's over there now, who was a pretty accomplished center fielder last year, could cover a lot of ground for the Arizona Diamondbacks, is now with the White Sox.
One and one on Owings. Slider.
That's the one pitch that he really concentrated in winter ball in downtown, or down at the complex in the Dominican Republic, was to be able to throw this slider and keep his fingers on top of the baseball so you could add depth to it. It wouldn't stay flat, it would turn and go down for the right-handed hitters.
Swung on and missed. Nicasio gets his second strikeout as he fans Owings. Middle of inning number 2, home opener 2014. The Rockies won, and the D-backs nothing. Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon had doubled, Kadire single, 1-0 Rockies as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It's now time for you to tweet your Rockies photos to us using hashtag #RockiesFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Justin Morneau batting 5th against Randall Delgado. And that's on the corner for a strike.
Very rarely does he throw the curveball, typically change up fastball. Wasn't a bad curveball, more of a power curveball at 77.
Inside, good eye on the two-seamer, 3-1.
Follow the Rockies on MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or other Windows Phone 8. Get scores, stats, highlights, and a whole lot more. Trying to wear Morneau out on that inner half, not let him extend. He ends up drawing the walk.
Morneau put together terrific at-bats down in Miami. It continues here in his first Coors Field appearance as a member of the Rockies. Willeen Rosario coming up. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. One strike on Willeen. And that catches the corner. Rockies had a tough one, tough pill to swallow early in the season, losing 8-5 yesterday in a game they led 4-1 and 5-2. And those are games, Walt will tell you this, that you got to put away, particularly out on the road. Doesn't matter actually whether you're at home or on the road, but you score 5 in a visiting ballpark, it ought to be a winning number.
It ought to be a winning number anywhere, plain and simple. Unfortunately, that didn't happen yesterday.
One out, Morneau at first as Rosario's retired. Nolan Arenado good day yesterday. Clutch RBI single to give the Rockies a 5-2 lead.
Arenado's only hitting 188, but 600 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 5.
And he gets under this one. Pop fly left field. Here comes Trumbo. Auto glass damage. Trust Safelite. Go online to safelite.com or call 303-287-5000 to schedule an appointment now. DJ LeMahieu. Walt was asked about whether DJ would lead off at all this year, and he said, I'm very comfortable with him leading off. He said he's doing a really good job in the 8-hole, and that is a tough place to hit. Place that Walt hit at different times in his career, in the National League in particular, because you're trying to flip that lineup over. And sometimes if you come up there with first base unoccupied and guys in scoring position, a couple outs, you know, if they do pitch to you, you may expand the zone a little bit trying to come through. So it's a tricky spot. One and one. Slowly hit to third. Bare hand play by Prado, and he got DJ LeMahieu. That's a terrific play by Martin Prado. That'll get Arizona off the field in the second. 1-0 Rockies.
LeMahieu.
Top of the third inning, Juan Nicasio has allowed one base runner, a 2-out walk to Paul Goldschmidt. And if you're going to pass on somebody, he's a good guy to pass on. Welcome back upstairs. Happy home opening day.
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
easy for you to say.
It wasn't easy for me to say at all.
That's a little rough.
With George Frazier and Jeff Hewson now. I'm Drew Goodman. How you doing, Huey?
I'm doing well. It's been really fun just to experience this whole opening day. I mean, we talked about it on our open, but still, just the energy that the fans bring to the players and to us. It's just, opening day should be a national holiday, though.
Well, I know it is here in Denver. It's a state holiday because I don't know how productive our fine citizenry.
Well, I think everything's shut down right now. It's just shut down in the city. No, I mean, we talked about the new deck. Look out on the concourse on the left field. Back out there behind the scoreboards. They're like 12 deep now.
Yeah, you could walk.
It's like the mall crawl.
Yeah, walking back from the pregame set. That was just
what do you call it? The mall crawl?
Yeah, you never heard of the mall crawl?
I don't go to the mall.
You always heard
Yes,
of,
I
16th
have.
Street Mall crawl. You live on the 16th Street Mall during the summer.
But I don't crawl.
We'll get back to you,
I know what
George.
you mean.
We'll get you.
Never mind.
I just want to make sure. We'll get you the 21st century.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
That's fine. All right.
1-1 on A.J. Pollock, who enjoyed a good rookie season last year. And that's a strike, 1-2. Juan Nicasio looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Well, he does, and I thought George and Jason did a great job in the pregame show breaking down his mechanics and the way he's able to bend and get out onto that front side just a little bit better, create more depth going down, not only with his fastball but his slider.
That slider was dirty. That had depth, George. That wasn't just moving 6 inches east and west. That was north and south.
Fans have heard me talk about hip side finish, and then you've got left knee out front finish, and that's exactly what you get from Nicasio on this slider on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Is the ball, you have that ability to get out over the front leg and drive it to the spot you're trying to send it to.
And for hitters, you're standing in the box, all you see is the fastball. By the time you go to swing and react, that's when your mind's telling you, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
And the history part of it, he doesn't show and has not shown a good slider, even when he was in Double-A and promoted to the big leagues. Now all of a sudden you have that weapon, it becomes a good weapon for you, and it has so far for Nicasio. Don't fool around with this guy, 194 career hitter.
Takes pretty good swing.
Probably another one of those converted shortstops that couldn't hit a slider but can hit a fastball.
There's a lot of those guys running around the big leagues.
Or converted catchers.
Converted catchers. 0-2, and bye-bye. Randall Delgado, 4 strikeouts, first time through the lineup.
Well, you can just see the confidence, too, also from Juan out on the hill.
I think a lot of pride, Jeff, in getting named a home opener starter. I think that was a key to it. Watch the delivery. Now watch his right arm come through. And it does expand and get way out over that left knee, and then its extension to home plate that he didn't have that before. He did not have the ability to do it, but nasty slider.
Gerardo Parra grounded to DJ LeMahieu his first time, and a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-1.
That's something for Juan that's a little new, too, to throw a first pitch breaking pitch instead of just coming with the heater.
I'll give Willeen some credit there, too, because it wasn't a shake-off, and it's like, okay, second time through, we're going to change the pattern a little bit.
Well, you have to Major League hitters. You cannot pump fastball after fastball to guys, because then they get into that nice, comfortable at bat where it's not a big deal.
We saw Jose Fernandez do that.
Yes.
You say, well,
because they ambushed him early on, then the second time, that's not going to work.
Even when you're throwing 98, here's a rollover ground ball. Morneau puts out the hand. I got it. Juan Nicasio, terrific third inning. Kind of matching what he did the first 2 innings. 1-0 Rockies. With a double, and then the base hit by Michael Kadire. Let's take a look at the Rockies' upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by CenturyLink. Link to what's next. The Chicago White Sox are going to be here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday's an off day, and the Rockies will take it in San Francisco. They started that last year where they traveled, even if it was an off day, a day early to get the bodies acclimated. Reacclimated with sea level. 1-1 on Nicasio. Ground ball to second.
Boy, he got jammed there. You see him shaking his hand, Huey?
Yeah, it's his right hand, too.
Pitching hand.
Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, De La Rosa, remember with his injury from bunting a baseball, but he jammed pretty good here.
Oh, right off the label.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether the label is turned up, down, facing the pitcher. That one hurts.
That misses. Blackman lined the ball over Aaron Hill's head. and hustling the whole way, turned it into a double, which you can do in big ballparks like here and in Miami.
Yeah, and that's what Charlie did coming out of the box, too, because he knew that where the ball was going, that if he ran hard and he put his head down, and this is all on the batter. There's no help from your first base coach pointing or anything like that. The ball's in front of you. You know you can take it.
Toward the hole, on through, base hit, Charlie Blackmon. Welcome back to 20th at Blake. So with one out, Charlie's at first for Kadire. How about the job, Huey, that Kadire did? Now, he's not a guy that's hitting the 2-hole in his career. He's always been a middle of the order RBI guy, hit the ball over the wall. He is so unselfish. First inning, doesn't matter to him. He battled and battled to get the ball on the right side, and fortunately he found the right side. He found an opening. And
where the pitch was, too, to be able to hit the ball to the right side. Really had to pull his hands in close to his body to do that. But that's what makes Michael Kadire unique in the number 2 spot, because you're not going to be asking him to bunt guys over. You're going to be asking him to drive them in or gap it to the other way. And, oh, yeah, like yesterday, he pops one out to left field for the home run.
You want to know when the idea of team comes in. Parra is going to have to bail out. Good effort by Gerardo. Where team comes in, where it seems like it's an individual battle. Delgado, Kadire. That's where team comes in. Michael Kadire could care less if he was 0 for 1 if he hit a ground ball to second base and Aaron Hill that first at bat. And that earns respect of your teammates. They've seen Michael play for 2 or 3 years now, so they know how he plays, but still, to be unselfish, other guys in the dugout say, well, when it's my turn, I've got to do the same thing. Yeah, when last year's batting champ is doing it, you bet it does. It sends that's leadership. That's leadership without ever opening your mouth.
I mean, thinking about trying to get Charlie in motion here. 1-2-1 to the plate twice for Delgado, so he's quick to the plate. You're going to have to get a good jump at first.
Well, if a guy that's 1-2 also with a 1-2 count, that's maybe when you anticipate a breaking ball in the dirt. And advance that way instead of a straight stolen base. Not going, fouled off.
As a base runner, I just noticed something here, and Charlie took a couple of steps out, like, okay, 1-2 count, just what you're talking about. But as a base runner, I think you've got to look at your catcher to see where he's set up. Right-handed batter, catcher sets up inside to a right-handed batter. 90% of the time, 99.1, you're not going to get a breaking ball now. Now it's going to be a fastball.
Right, now he slid to the outside. It could be either one.
And Montero, I think, may have slipped on that throw.
Catchers get quick sometimes, and their cleat will hit the home plate area or loose dirt. And when that front foot goes out from underneath of you, that's when you lose a lot of balance.
George, looked like you described it right, like caught a spike. Got a Gold Glove first baseman. We were bragging on Goldschmidt's offense. He won a Gold Glove on defense last year. Kadire now works it to a 3-2 count, and you got to figure Blackmon will be moving here to stay out of double play.
Sure, and this is where you're not necessarily thinking, I'm going to try to steal the base. I don't want to get picked off. It's almost like not a hit and run, but a run and hit.
There he goes, and it's a bullet, but right at Hill, and it eats him up. Blackmon will get to third. Kadire will sit down at first base. Hill was moving toward the bag. I'm not sure. We'll have to watch the replay. Did that deflect off of Delgado at all?
I don't think so. I think he just might have got screened by Charlie running, and he had when he had to go back, he slipped as he started to reach up for this ball.
That's a line drive, and again, we're going to be able to see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode. Did it catch any of this? It looked like either he pulled it back or what he did with it. But I also wonder, too, on a low line drive coming out of the crowd, and you're sitting here looking at it, and was it a knuckleball? But it looked like the ball was sailing to the opposite side of him. So as a result of it, you got first and third, and not a comfortable situation if you're Delgado with Carlos Gonzalez at the plate.
Inside on Cargo. Let's show you that look again.
That does miss the glove. That's right, on the Subaru Supermo. It does get by and never touched by the glove.
Cargo grounded into a 4.63 his first time up.
5 shots with runners in scoring position. He's hit 400.
Held up. What was that? He pointed to.
I think he called it on his own.
He didn't initially. Watch Mike Malinsky, home plate umpire. Nothing.
Now he doesn't.
Why the delay?
Unless he looked down at third and gave him a head nod.
He didn't go.
They may have given him a head nod at third.
That is, folks, and we're not being cynical. That's not reviewable. That's one of the few things that's not reviewable.
See if he goes to a changeup right now, Jim. That's what he did earlier. Was able to get Cargo on a ground ball. See if he does it again. This was an elevated fastball for a left-handed hitter. Difficult to get on top of a ball up and away that's running.
Just a little late with the stride foot getting down into the ground.
Two and two. And this is where Cargo, when we talk about professional at-bats and RBI at-bats, shorten up. Don't try to hit the ball in the third deck right now. Get it in play, because with his speed, and I know he hit into a 4.63 his first time, but in all likelihood, if he gets it in play, unless it's a pop up in the infield, you understand, there's a real good chance the Rockies get a run out.
Yeah, I mean the infielders are playing back, but also the outfielders are way back. They're not playing in shallow. So you get the ball in the air, you're going to score the run.
Now 3-2. There's that change, George, as you said. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back with it again. He has a lot of confidence in it.
Well, he throws it 27% of the time. And again, we talked about that with a young Latin player and the way they like to throw it. It's just typical circle change that he threw. And then you really try to pronate to the inside so you can have the ability to make the ball dive, reverse the spin on it. He just overamped it a little bit.
Kadire at first, Blackman at third. And this ball driven high and deep right field. Does it have enough? Off the wall. One run is scored. Blackman getting a green light. He'll score, throw to third to get Gonzalez is wide of the mark. 2-run triple for Cargo.
What a good at-bat from Cargo, because he stayed off of a couple pitches. The last one being the changeup down, and then gets one 92 miles an hour. He thought he might have had it with the little hop, but it had too much top spin on it. It goes off the wall about 3/4 of the way up.
You remember his first couple of years, fellas, when Cargo, he does this against virtually everybody, but when Arizona would come to town or he'd go down there,
wore them out.
He just wore them out.
Continues with men in scoring position to wear it out right now, too. 5 RBIs now. He and Kadire both with 5. That's third in the league. And then setting the table. I mean, Tulowitzki's got to be licking his chops right now with 1 out and a runner at third. But this fastball not anywhere in the direction Delgado wanted to do it. And that's what good hitters do. They make you pay when you make mistakes. Fastball that's a little bit above the belt, out over the plate for Gonzalez.
25th triple in his Rockies career. He's moved into 6th place on the all-time Rockies triples list, just past Ellis Burks, who is a fixture at spring training. This is popped up and out of play. Ellis was
it's good to see
special
him.
instructor. Yeah, you know, I know it's cliche to say this. Oh, he looks like he can still play. Ellis Burks, it just looks fabulous. Strong as ever, clean waist.
Well, just the knowledge that he's
kind of like me, huh?
I was going to get to that. You didn't let me.
Y'all are just jealous. Y'all got like those 6-packs. I just have a 1-pack.
It works for you. You would
it
look
works
right
great
in a
for me.
6-pack.
That's right.
RBI opportunity for Troy. He grounded to third his first time. Infield remains back with 1 out.
Huey, I want to ask Huey real quick. Defensively now, being an infield coordinator and you have all these different sets, look how close Goldschmidt is, yet everybody else is way back. Is that for the number to the right side?
Yeah, that's exactly right, because he's not going to be able to do anything. They think he's going to either pull the ball on the ground or it's going to be in the air to the right side. So if he throws that change up and Troy were to hit it off the end of the bat, then that's when you get that little squibber that's going that way, and that's why they have Goldschmidt even with the bag.
See, and I thought maybe they would bring Hill in a little bit too. Now they're going to bring him all in. Two strikes, bring him in, and be able to defend.
But that just opens up so much more areas.
Well, why? And a guy that hits the ball as hard as this, I mean, come on, you serious? I mean, go halfway. I get that maybe, but I wouldn't be on the grass in any fashion with him up there.
Speaking of that, can you imagine you get the signal from the dugout, Huey, take you back to your playing days. You get, I'm going to put you at third this day, all right? And Stanton's at the plate, and they say, we're going to bring the infield in.
I remember that happened to me with Dave Winfield at the plate. I mean, George, everybody knows Dave Winfield with that leg kick and as big as he was, Giancarlo Stanton, same exact body and just the way they can hit the ball so hard. That's why Prado's back 2 or 3 strides.
Back up the middle, and it pays off for the Rockies.
Smart hitting from Troy.
Make it 4-1.
4-hole hitters so much in their careers, they want to try to hit it hard everywhere. They want to try to drive the ball out of the ballpark. And all you've got to do is with the infield in, pick a hole and put it in play. You got a pretty good chance of getting the runner across and the ball through the infield. That pitch is away from him. And all he doesn't try to overpower it. He just takes it back up the middle. It's a sinker away. They're trying to get you to pull it on the ground. Troy made him pay for it. It's nice. 4-0 Rockies.
Now, if the infield's back, the run's still going to score. Owings may have had a chance cutting across. Would have been tough, but may have had a chance. Now the Rockies with 4 straight hits. Single by Blackman, single by Kadire, triple by Cargo, and now the single by Tulowitzki.
Yeah, but because of that, now they have to hold Troy on at first instead of having 2 outs. There's only 1 out, and you have that extra hole for Justin Morneau to hit the ball to the right side.
Change up 1-1. Morneau walked his first time up. Justin signed a 2-year deal with the Rockies in the offseason. Whole career with Minnesota, save a month and change with the Pirates last year. And this ball driven to center field. And Pollock's going to make the catch. He just keeps stringing together good at bats, doesn't he?
He does, and it's good to see. He missed some time early in spring training, and then towards the end, started to get those at bats to pile up like he won as a hitter.
He had that stiff neck early, and he says that is something he's dealt with periodically in his career. Here's Willeen.
They did call it. Trying to draw the line out, go up that first base line, and it did appear the bat way past it.
Whoa.
That wasn't even a 58-foot.
No, that's the second one we've seen today from Delgado where the ball almost didn't make it to the dirt.
Because what you do as a pitcher at altitude, you over exaggerate out front, and when you cut the arc off on a breaking ball and you bring that elbow close to the chest, you're cutting the distance you can reach to home plate with it. So as a result of that, you cut the arc, you cut the ball, and you're so conscious of not hanging that curveball that you jam it in the ground a lot of times, just as he did there.
Came back with a changeup, and George, that's been his most effective pitch.
Like we talked about at the very first part of this show, a lot of young Latin players, pitchers particularly, will have a good changeup because they don't want the damage done to the arm on a curveball change or curveball slider. So they're taught fastball. This ball's going to get up the middle of it because it's got so much speed behind the ball after impact with Lalene hitting.
That's 2 at-bats this inning. The first one by Troy where he just reached out because he knew he had the runner at third base. Almost identical pitch for Lalene, and rather than take the big monster swing, he just puts the ball in play.
I like the fact that he lured the body to the swing. A lot of guys will stay upright and just try to golf that pitch. He went down so he could keep the plane of that bat driving the top side of the ball. I mentioned a minute ago Nolan's first at bat. Yeah, he's only hitting $188. It's down a little bit from that now, 176. But when he gets men in scoring positions, really makes his hay. He's hit 400 so far.
Take strike one.
As a ball club today, they're 3 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that'll work. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Well, they're forcing him to throw a ton of pitches this inning. Rockies have 5 hits, 3 runs in the inning, 7 hits overall. Just a bunch of bagels up on the scoreboard on Arizona's side. Juan Nicasio's been outstanding. This is the 33rd pitch of the inning.
Eight relievers in their bullpen. Will Harris, they had a lot of pitches yesterday, gave up 5 for Kirk Gibson in an inning. Probably not available today, but they have 8 in their bullpen. One left-hander, or excuse me, a couple of left-handers in Thatcher and Smith and Oliver Perez. Perez more of a situational guy. Roland Smith would be a long guy to work out of the bullpen for them. So they've loaded up their bullpen. Maybe not in preparation of Coors Field, but obviously that thought is there.
On the corner, 2-2, and yeah, ordinarily it's the Rockies you see at home with the extra pitcher. They haven't done that yet, though Boone Logan threw last night in AAA. He's going to throw today, and I was talking to Scotty Murayama, who is the training coordinator for extended spring and all those guys, the rehab coordinator. This ball driven foul. And he says Boone Logan looks great. So Logan's going to be up here. He's due to come off on Sunday, but having worked back-to-back days, it may wait till the first part of the week, but he's going to be here pretty quickly.
Well, and add that veteran arm out to the bullpen, another left-hander, but a different option for different situations in the game where you could bring him in.
Well, and they need it because, you know, to be frank, the bullpen was not very good, save a couple of individuals down in Miami. And a strikeout of Arenado. In the inning, 3 runs on 5 hits. Hugh, you got the post-game show today?
I'm going to leave the rest of the game up to you two.
We'll try not to screw it up. We'll see in a little bit.
Me and him?
4-0. Rockies.
opening day. And as you see, the Rooftop is rocking in right field. Converted 3,500 seats. And I'm standing at the Tavern Bar above right field. This place is rocking. I was going to try to order something, guys, but it's going to be impossible. This is new. What's also new is not having Todd Helton in the lineup. Tracy Ringlesby, the Cowboy, also part of our broadcast again this year. He wrote a nice article. He talked to Todd. Todd said, you know what I did? I skied. I rode horses. I even golfed and skied at Vail the same day, something I wasn't able to do. The last time he skied was his freshman year in college, guys. He's enjoying a lot of kid time, a lot of family time, even Coach Tierney Faith's basketball team. So good for Todd Helton. We miss him here, but he's enjoying things after baseball, guys.
Yeah, it's a new chapter in his life, and it's a tough transition, I'm sure, for Todd and for any athlete, especially one that had as long a career and as prosperous a career as he had. This is a floater to shallow center, and nice catch, Charlie Blackmon.
Trying to become player of the game. Couple of hits, couple of runs scored. Nice catch in center field. You got it all working today, Charlie. Really nice catch. Good jump on the baseball. Focus on the flight of the baseball all the way into the glove. And of course, Nicasio, when you're pitching, you really appreciate it. Shut down that first out.
Goldschmidt walked his first time up, and he takes ball one. 25 straight he's hit it going back to last year. Arenado pops to his feet. Throw to first. Got him. Nice pickup by Morneau. That was Helton-esque.
There comes a reputation with having a gold glove, and Nolan obviously likes flashing the leather, and he did a good job here of flashing the leather. Difficult play, two-step dive, get to it, and then the bullet thrown over. And Morneau, a lot like Todd, follows the flight of this baseball right into his leather at first base. You know you got to get rid of it because Goldschmidt can run.
Great play, Nolan Arenado. Great play on the other end by Morneau. Third time we've seen him pick a ball out of the dirt. Helton made an art out of that. Prada, no swing, 1-1. And there were so many ceremonies before the game, it was hard to keep track, but the gold gloves were handed out also. Cargo picked up yet another, and Nolan Arenado, the first of, I'm sure, many.
Yeah, you hope so. I mean, that's the thing. Arenado just displays every day his ability to field it. And maybe next year you had another guy over there, the shortstop. He's already got a couple. It'd be nice to see him get another one. And I think DJ LeMahieu in time with as much going on in the second baseman around baseball that if he gets a little more well known as an everyday guy, he'll have a shot at one himself.
And that one got underneath the glove of Arenado. I don't know if they were trying to communicate at that point, Arenado and Tulowitzki. That'll be the first hit of the game for Arizona.
Yeah, Nolan moved very quickly to the left side to try to get to it, just flipped away from him.
Subaru is bringing you the manager's challenge this year. If there's a questionable call, instant replay will be used to determine the outcome. It's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru. So virtually everything can be reviewed, not balls and strikes, and several other items, but you'll see it most of the time, I'm sure, with bank plays, tag plays or bank plays at first. And so far in the opening week of the season, that's where most of the reviews have taken place. Montero takes a strike. Our Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Today's the Rockies' 22nd home opener. Juan Nicasio's the 19th pitcher to start a home opener. The guys that have started multiple home openers: Billy Swift, Pedro Estacio, who's always around the club. He was in Miami with the Rockies as an instructor. Jason Jennings in 04 and 06. In the air center field, easy play for Charlie Blackmon. This should be the third out, and it will be. Juan Nicasio gave up his first hit, nothing else across. Rockies leading 4-0, middle of 4.
Guilty pleasure would probably be Justin Bieber.
Pizookies.
Kazuki.
Pizza cookie. I love them. I can't stop eating them.
Cheetos.
Ice cream.
My house has to be full of Cheetos. Every corner you will find a Cheeto.
Chicken wings or potato chips for me. How about you, George?
Neither one. I'm more of a popcorn.
Popcorn?
Like popcorn. It's not good for you at all, but I like popcorn. No.
Well, if you don't put the butter and all the salt on it.
It's still not good for you, I just tell you.
That's interesting. You dispensing health and fitness
Just saying.
info and advice.
I just follow my mother's guidelines. She's 96, so I kind of like her guideline. Her guideline about eating healthy is eat.
Yeah, eating's a good thing. It's kind of unhealthy not to eat. I would agree with that.
All you can eat. Whatever you can eat. Jumbo. I like it.
One and two on LeMahieu. Nicasio on deck. DJ rolled one up the third base line. Martin Prado made a great barehanded stab and threw him out by a quarter step to end the second inning. Rockies up 4-0. They've out-hit the Arizona Diamondbacks 7-1.
By the way, last night in minor league baseball, the Rockies affiliates opened up. Asheville won 8-2. Tulsa came back and won with 3 home runs. Adames hit a home run last night. Tyler Massey hit a home run.
Tom Murphy hit a home run.
Yep. Butler went 5 innings. Gave up 3 hits, 1 run. He struck out 5. Christian Friedrich went 5 innings, struck out 9 in AAA. They were shut out, though, by Brian Flynn in the AAA affiliate of Miami.
Base hit, DJ LeMahieu. Nicasio will try to bunt him over. Every time your favorite player gets a hit, it could mean a monetary donation to Special Olympics at the Children's Hospital Colorado. Join Root Sports and the Rockies today in their new initiative, Batter Up for Kids. Every hit makes a difference. For more info and back up your favorite player, visit Rockies.com/batterup. Two-strike count on Nicasio, trying to get the bunt down. Stu Cole delivering the signs.
Not a lot of disguising this situation. You might go ahead and let him swing now with 2 strikes and a 1-ball 2-strike count, but 9 out of 10 times you're going to do just what he's doing here. That's bunt. Unfortunately, ends up a strikeout. Dollar Hot Dog Night's coming up in the 2014 season. The first 10,000 on Tuesday, the 8th, are going to receive a coupon for one. Get one. It is your Dollar Hot Dog Night with the White Sox in town. 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/promotions to get tickets to that ball game.
Rockies 12-9 all time in home openers. We've had some unforgettable home openers. The first one ever at Coors Field, and Dante in the 14th went deep against the Mets. Clint Barmas's walk-off. Corey Sullivan was reminiscing about that earlier. He had tied the game with a double.
Well, one thing the Rockies have done now, Drew, about this, and what I think is really nice, Root Sports is doing a big, huge part of this with Hirsch, Sullivan, Spilborg's being brought back in. Jeff Houston, a player with the Rockies just for a short period of time. But Larry Walker's coming around. We talked about this a minute ago. Ellis Burks is around now. And it's part of the history of this franchise that is around now, that made history here. And I'm sure when Clint Barmas retires, he's still playing for Pittsburgh, but he lives here in Colorado, that he'll be welcomed back with open arms to the organization. And I think that's a huge beginning. Josh Fogg, Tito Fuentes, both at Fantasy Camp this year, being a part of that history and bringing the players back for that. Pedro Estacio in spring training. I think it's a great gesture on their part, but it also, I think, brings the fans back some great memories of Rockies baseball.
And after all, embarking on your 22nd season, you don't have the tradition yet of the Cubs and the Yankees and the Red Sox, that sort of thing. But you've been around long enough that there are some guys that made quite an impression here. This ball driven deep right field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Charlie Blackmon goes deep. 2-run shot.
Said something about player of the game a while back, huh? A couple of hits.
He's the leader of the clubhouse.
He jumped right to the top of my vote. 2-run home run, making catches in the outfield. Everybody's going to start growing a beard in the dugout. Tell you what, he jumped all over and spanked this thing. He got a ball down. Just see you later. Deep drive to right field. We're getting some good looks and a lot of balls hit today on that party deck. Tell you that. Way to go, Charlie Blackmon.
And here's Kadire. Michael is 2 for 2. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies.
And still no one throwing in the Arizona bullpen. You got 8 guys down there, and they're all standing around. Somebody give me a phone call. Do you want me to get loose for the guy? You don't want to see your teammates stand out there and get crushed. Mike Harkey replaced Charles Nagy as the pitching coach this year with the Diamondbacks.
Mike was here for a minute, wasn't he?
As a pitcher.
Yeah.
All-time Rockies, Dougie, where are we? Dougie, let me see a media guide real quick. All-time Rockies, Mike Harkey.
Yeah.
When was he here? 98, 94, maybe 95.
He was here around Girardi because he and Girardi remained very close friends.
I think it was 90, 95, 96.
3-2 on Kadire.
One more look at Charlie's swing as he hit this ball out of the ballpark. Everything's going to drive to the backside, and then watch the hand sweep through on this and generate an awful lot of bat speed, stiff front side. Man, what a pretty swing. Our 24 ball games started, Drew, or 24 games appeared in 1994. 13 starts. He was 1-6 with a 5.79 ERA.
Strikeout of Kadire looking, and that'll bring up Cargo. Two-run triple off the wall in right field, right near the right field foul line. There was no question it was fair. It was whether or not it was going to get out of the ballpark. Got him out front just a smidgen.
Now Cargo tried to kidnap him here too. He thought he'd get a first pitch fastball and try to get it out of the yard.
In the inning, 2 more runs for the Rockies on the 2-run blast by Charlie Blackmon. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive Ford go further. By McDonald's, start your day with a freshly brewed small cup of McCafe coffee for free during breakfast hours only. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. A view from the rooftop, which is packed with fans everywhere you look, from the rock pile to the rooftop. Third deck down the left field line. Great opening day crowd for the Rockies. They've enjoyed what they've witnessed thus far. As we go to the 5th inning, it's 6-0 Colorado. And the first pitch from Nicasio fouled off by Mark Trumbo, who had a fly ball to center field. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout.
You know, we've talked a lot about Nicasio's slider, talked about his delivery. The one thing that we have not mentioned that is something that's, you know, for me, is pace and rhythm of the game. Catch the baseball, he's already towing the rubber again. He's ahead 0-2. Trumbo, as good a hitter as he is, he's standing there going, hey, slow down a minute. I got to fix the gloves. I got to get this done. He's saying, let's go. Let's get after it.
Here's the 0-2. Left center field, well hit, and this one's going to leave the yard. Mark Trumbo on an 0-2 pitch, got a hanging slider and hit it out. So it is 6-1. Trumbo's third already this year.
As you looked at this sequence between on an 0-2 count, Lean wanted to come in on the fastball. As he's given his sign, let's watch it all the way back from the beginning. See, he wants fastball in. He's saying, let's take it in on the hands. He's not, let's go, I want to go slider. Go slider, but you got to get on an 0-2 pitch. You got to bury that in the ground. That's a big, strong man. And you let him extend his arms, he was able to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Chris Owings will step up. It's our Toyota Talk inning. Do the Rockies really humidify their baseballs? Yeah, that goes back to 2002. And that's to make the baseball the same weight and dimensions that exist if they were sitting at sea level.
Well, you keep them the way they arrive. You don't give them a chance to change it all. Good job for Nicasio. Comes right back after the home run, attack the zone, get the ground ball to LeMahieu.
You know, that was a great sequence you described there, George, and they showed us in the truck, because a catcher makes suggestions. You pitched a long time in the big leagues.
Exactly.
It's on you. It's not on the catcher. Catcher's making an educated suggestion, because he's looking at swings. He knows what they did the last time through. He knows scouting reports. But it's ultimately on, you know, Juan Nicasio, whoever's pitching.
Right. And what your thinking process as a catcher, let's go above his hands once. You're ahead 0-2. Let's go in there again. Now you're wide open to a lot of things. We can go break a ball, we can go fastball, we can do a lot of things. But when you shake off, and that's the slider he wished he would have thrown to Trumbo. It was nasty. But you get 0-2, and a guy like Trumbo's up there, you're thinking, man, I got to throw this, and I got to throw it as nasty as I can. You get a little quick with your front side, the ball gets off to the side, it hangs, and that's an ugly result.
That's not an ugly result, except for A.J. Pollock. They'll get the out at first. That is the 5th strikeout for Juan Nicasio. How much pressure does Justin Morneau feel trying to fill the shoes of Todd Helton?
None, if you ask him.
Yeah, and nor should he, because Justin Morneau has a pretty fair back of his baseball card also.
And an MVP. He's not trying to fill Todd Helton's shoes. He's just trying to be a healthy Justin Morneau.
And a healthy Justin Morneau is a pretty darn good player.
And that will take care of a lot of things.
To third, good pickup. And Arenado will throw out Delgado. Mark Trumbo hit a home run to get Arizona on the board. Rockies up 6-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Tulo to lead it off. That game recap, Rockies are up 6-1. That's the most important note we can tell you. Charlie Blackmon is 3 for 3, including a 2-run home run. Cargo drove in 2 of the triple. And Mark Trumbo just hit his 3rd home run already in an Arizona uniform. He's got 9 RBIs. He's 1 ahead of Casey McGee, who...
Thought there was another McGee that came back from Japan.
Exactly, Casey McGee, who wore out the Rockies the last few days. Here's Tulowitzki. The breaking ball's high, not close from Randall Delgado.
Well, Delgado's going to bite a bullet a little bit. He's given up 6 runs on 9 hits so far in this ball game. And they do have an 8-man bullpen, although a couple are down because of their workload yesterday. So Kirk Gibson's going to let him get extended and work into the 6th, maybe 5th, 6th inning, because he let him hit here in the 4th or top of the 5th. You can buy a couple more innings out of him. Obviously, 1 or 2 relievers get you through the rest of this ball game.
Two and 2 on Troy. Thanks for texting your questions during Toyota Talk. For more answers, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. Tulowitzki's ground ball up the middle that drove in a run, his 2nd RBI of the young season. Troy last year drove in 82. This time with that broken rib that he hurt diving. Rockies a year ago 38-38 against the National League West.
Well, that really wasn't the biggest problem. It was that one trip to the East Coast where you go 1-9. Just crushed you right after Tulowitzki got hurt.
Mike Harkey again going out to visit with Randall Delgado. J.J. Putt's former closer
hasn't been right.
Yeah, you don't expect J.J. Putt's name to pop up when you're down 5 in the 6th inning, but that's his role right now.
Has not been right and owed another year on the contract. He's out there for some availability based upon national reports that I have read. This is a guy with a good fastball split at one time, but has had some difficulties of late. Veteran guy. And Kevin Towers, somebody that when he builds his ball club, he literally builds it up the middle, and that's with starting pitching, center field, short, second, and a great bullpen.
Morneau fouls it back.
They get to the ballpark early this Sunday as the first 15,000 are going to receive a batting champ bobblehead dome courtesy of Wells Fargo. Arrive early. Gates will open at 2 hours prior to the game on Sunday. First 15,000. All of that is brought to you by Wells Fargo.
Tried to two-seam him on the inside corner. He missed.
Tried to do that earlier with Morneau. About 5 pitches in a row. He ran it inside and hard, trying to get the ground out, the swing. Morneau, a little bit of a long swing, so as a pitcher, you want to try to occupy that inner half.
Got it there that time, 1-2. Delgado will be tossing his 99th pitch right here. And it's going to be a base hit for Justin Morneau. First and second, nobody out. With Willeen Rosario coming up. Now the question is, does he get to throw a 100th pitch?
Well, they're checking now. Kurt told Harkey, check the bullpen. Is he ready to go? And I guess he is, because that's going to be it. Kurt's out of the dugout pointing down to the bullpen. He just sometimes hit them where they ain't, man. Hit it right back up the middle and then able to shoot it through there. I think, you know, Minnesota, other teams, even as you come up as a youngster, it's great to hit home runs, great to hit the ball in the gap, but you're better off sometimes just taking the ball up the middle to the biggest part of the plate, the least defended.
Rockies up 6-1, looking for more.
Best shoe collection.
I'd say me.
No, I take pride in my shoes.
His shoe collection's terrible.
What?
So I hope Cuddy doesn't say himself.
I'm gonna be up there.
This guy thinks some of his Jordans are real and they're fake.
What?
Like, it's a joke.
And he gets all this nice Nike exclusive stuff.
Maybe I'm not a sneakerhead, but I think I probably have the best shoe collection.
I will say this, just based on what I've seen in the clubhouse, Tulowitzki does have the best sneaker collection. He got every color.
Well, it's the vintage sneaker, too. You got to do that one, like the old style Jordans.
JJ puts in the game. Willeen Rosario at the plate with a bat in his hand. Swung on and missed.
And he's hoping by bringing Puts into the ball game, he can get a ground ball. 3-1 record a year ago. Save opportunities, 6 of 11. I mean, you look at the overall numbers, they're not that bad of numbers. I mean, those are the things. Yeah, the opponent averaged 211, but it's been a little bit ineffective this spring. That's why you're looking at him right now in this situation. Plus the addition of Reed, he's your closer.
Toward the hole, diving stop, and they're going to get the out at second.
Tell you what, that's a nice play.
That's a great play by Chris Owens. Not Morneau, I should say. I said Kadire.
He goes over, dives for this baseball, and when he does, he looked to third initially. And then everybody you talk to with Arizona advanced scouts, people of that nature, they'll tell you that Owens got a very strong arm, an accurate arm, and it had to be here to get Morneau, and he did.
First and third for Arenado. Fastball at 89 for a strike, and of course JJ used to throw exceptionally hard.
Well, and again, guys with the high number of innings, You know, in the appearances of getting up and down without throwing in a ball game, it really takes its toll on the arm and the velocity. That's why you see a lot of starters. Tim Lincecum gone from 97 to 90. You know, those innings mount up on you after a while, but that's where you have to become a pitcher and be able to advance yourself with different things other than just the fastball. If you execute your pitch in the location you want, whether it's 89, 90, or whether it's 96, you're going to have pretty good success. What 95 to 98 does, it lets you get away with mistakes up in the zone.
Auto glass damage, trust SafeLight. Go online to safelight.com or call 303-287-5000. 1-2 on Arenado. Trying to extend the Rockies lead. They're up 6-1. They've out-hit Arizona 10-2. We're in the 6th. He went. Second time he has struck out this afternoon. That'll bring up LeMahieu.
Almost looked like a cut fastball, you know, from the side, because Nolan's going to go outside like he wants to try to get him. You look at Montero, he wanted the ball up and in. He's up high in his squat. That ball looked like it cut away. I think Nolan was just trying to hopefully foul it off because it's nasty. On the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, watch the pitch out of the hand of JJ. The ball had a little bit of cut to it. Nolan, once he committed, he was hoping just to foul it off, and he gets a call third strike.
Talk to Puts.
Well, a lot of people know in this ballpark, regardless of what you have happen in the first 2 or 3 innings, those last 9 outs, sometimes the last 6 outs are the hardest to get for the home ball club. So, you know, they want to make sure you play this inning through and don't let that 6-1 lead all of a sudden jump out on you. 4 more at bats before they're done in this game.
Well, that's what the discussion was about. Since it's 2-0, they're going to go ahead and load the bases. Even though that would be unconventional ordinarily, but you have the pitcher Nicasio on deck. Time for you to tweet your Rockies photos to us using the hashtag RockiesFanPhoto. You'll have a chance to have it shown during an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T.
Good idea. Nicasio initially waved for the runner to advance with Tulowitzki, and then quickly, like, no, that ball didn't get far enough away from him. You got to be careful with that. We'll see again. Tulo's got a little bit of a lead, but he saw the ball shoot off, but he also saw it not go very far. Putts very alertly charged home plate area.
Almost looked like a cross-up.
Yeah, I think it was more looking for the split, and that split sailed.
One and one on Nicasio. 2-1. 5 hits, 3 RBIs. Go Little League on him. Hit a bomb. 2-2.
Well, trust me, he's strong enough to do it.
Bases full of Rockies. 2-2, 2 outs in the 6th. Rockies 1-3. That's what happened down in Miami, losing the first 3 of the first 4, and Arizona 1-5. Their season began in Sydney, Australia. You know, before Corbin went down, a lot of the preseason magazines had them the closest pursuers to the Dodgers in a good NL West. And now it's full on Juan Nicasio.
Boots out of the hand, not even close, Drew. That ball's up and out over the plate. You're trying to induce a swing here. Player of the game, Charlie Blackmon in the on deck circle. I'm going to keep throwing it out there. I mean, how can it not be player of the game?
And this is on the ground to second. Aaron Hill's got it, and he'll throw out Nicasio. So the Rockies will leave him loaded in the 6th inning. They have a 6-1 lead in the 5th inning, I should say. Page to the 6th inning. Gerardo Parra will lead things off. 3rd time through for Juan Nicasio. And let's visit again with Mark Stout.
All right, guys, this is the entrance behind me to Chubb Burger, which is from Longmont in Colorado. They make great burgers. This is up here on the rooftop above right field. Going to show you Walt Weiss now, because I want to go back 20 years to the day, 4/4/94, when Walt Weiss was the starting shortstop and leadoff hitter for the Rockies when they had opening day at the old Mile High Stadium. 72,000 in that stadium on that day. I had a chance to talk to LaTroy Hawkins before the game, because LaTroy, obviously a veteran in the game. I said, how many different stadiums did you have opening day as the home player? And he started counting it up, and he said 9. This is the 2nd time around for him at Coors Field, so 9 different parks. How about you, Frazier, when you think about parks where it was your home opener? How many for you?
Big league parks or little league parks?
Big league parks. Yeah.
I'm teasing you. Well, New York, St. Louis, I never started the season with them at the beginning of a year, so I had New York Yankees, then
Yankee
I had
Stadium,
the Cleveland Indians in the old ballpark,
Yep.
and then had the Minnesota Twins, Chicago Cubs.
So how's Wrigley opening day? Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, what do you think?
Got to be awesome. I know, it's like this today. This is
no sober people anywhere.
Well, it's a little bit of that up here in the rooftop.
No.
So, yeah.
Come on, really?
Give me a little heads up for this season.
All right, Mark, we'll check back with you in a little bit. Parra, Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt, Juan Nicasio has been terrific. One mistake, an 0-2 slider that sat in the middle of the plate. Mark Trumbo hit out. That pitch was the 64th pitch by Juan Nicasio, and he's in the 6th inning.
Yeah, how about that improvement over what we've been dealing with or looking at in the past? And you're going to get a leadoff out here also.
Pound in the strike zone. He's thrown only 18 pitches out of the strike zone. Boy, those are great numbers. One out, Aaron Hill at the plate. He struck out looking in the first and hit a soft fly ball to center field. And Charlie Blackmon, our player of the game,
we named him
running
early.
in and dove and caught.
We gave him player of the game early.
Well, as a tip of the cap to the Avalanche, who just keep winning games late. Tyson Barrie last night, tie, and then in overtime in the shootout, he had a goal. He was my first star last night. He might not have been the official first star, but right now, the first star of the game is Charlie Blackmon.
Has to be.
And the second star is Juan Nicasio.
Exactly.
Cargo, sorry, man. 2-run triples. We just gotten accustomed to you doing that every night anyhow. We'll give him the third star right now.
Jordan Lyles playing a little catch down there. I think Jordan, obviously a bullpen day for him, and with all the festivities going on prior to that, hard to get him loose or doing some things with him. And with the bullpen right now, Belial a lot of innings yesterday. Troy may need an extra day. So on his bullpen day, a young guy, get it loose, and if they need you to get through the 6th, great. If not, hey, get your bullpen work in preparation for your next start. Side armor.
Yep. Joe Thatcher, we're used to seeing him in a Padre uniform.
That old theory about not making trades within the division and all that stuff, that doesn't seem to matter anymore.
That's a fair ball down the left field line for Aaron Hill. So a double for Hill in front of Goldschmidt.
Sinker down and in. A lot of times you get the head of the bat out, not necessarily a situation where it was hit extremely hard. It's just by Arenado, then it's going to hook right down into that corner. Nolan with great range to the line, but not able to get to this, and the chalk flew up, or I should say the paint flew up, and it stayed in fair territory.
Goldschmidt robbed of a hit by Nolan Arenado. Also a walk. Hefty swing. 0-1. Two-strike count on Goldschmidt. Here's what he did last year, just some of what he did last year. He had 3 walk-off home runs. That was bettered by nobody. Slugging percentage was tops in the National League. He tied with Pedro Alvarez for the home run lead in the NL. He led in ribbies with 125. He was 3rd in the league in walks.
That explains an awful lot why near the top of that MVP. I mean, number 2 in the National League.
Second, as we talked about earlier, the NL MVP voting to McCutchen. McCutchen had 409 votes, 242 for Goldschmidt. Yadier Molina was third. High fly ball deep left. Cargo is going to have room. Two outs. Log on to CFD Rodeo /Mellencamp for your chance to win tickets to see John Mellencamp at Cheyenne Frontier Days, summer's largest country music festival. Grand prize package will include a VIP CBR bull riding World Finals experience, meet and greet, concert tickets, hotel, Western wardrobe, and more. For official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com /Mellencamp. Martin Prado with 2 outs and Hill at second. Rockies up 6-1. Ground ball cut off by LeMahieu, sets his feet, and a good pickup at first by Morneau to end the top of the 6th inning. Juan Nicasio rolls on. The great defense in the infield continues. 6-1, Colorado.
The city never sleeps at night. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger than that. I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now don't you understand that I'm never changing who I am?
It's been a great home opener so far, in particular for number 19. Charlie Blackmon. Juan Nicasio made the final out last inning, so Charlie will lead things off, and he'll get a very good left-handed reliever, Joe Thatcher, who made 72 appearances last year.
You get a tough left-hander too. Blackmon has gone 0 for 2 against him. Gonzalez, who they're trying to kill this offense down a little bit, a chance to try to get back in this ball game, is 3 for 12. Kadire 1 for 1. A difficult left-hander to hit. They'll drop down to that low 3/4 sidearm and come at you from way out there. Another guy, obviously, has made a pretty good living doing that. Javier Lopez with the Giants.
Charlie to left, and that gets past Trumbo, and Charlie into second with a double.
Player of the game.
Well, it'll definitely be at least a single, and I think he probably have to score a double. He dove and it got by him. Any way you slice it, Blackmon continues, as you said, George, to be player of the game. He's 4 for 4.
4 for 4, and his average now 500. He's raised it 200 points today from 300.
You gotta love April 4th.
I love April 4th. You better believe it. Charlie getting a lot of pitches to hit today, and he's making them pay for it. Now you got a leadoff single here, or a leadoff double they ended up giving him. Trumbo came in and tried to dive, make a play on that baseball.
Tough play, but what do we say? Trumbo, George, has been a DH and a first baseman. Blackmon takes off to third. Throw on the bag. He got spiked, but he's out.
Got him right on the hand. Slid right into his glove.
Yep, Prado got the tag down. It was a perfect throw by Montero.
First time Charlie's been caught this year. He did have a stolen base. It's all part of the game. They try to swipe tag, but what happens sometimes is it's such a close tag that your cleats get caught on the webbing of the glove, and as a fielder, once you tag and try to pull up, you can't. See, Charlie got him right on the outside of the gloves. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, watch right here. He's going to turn his glove and rotate it so the spikes come in. The heel of the spikes pinch that little fingers against the bag. That doesn't feel very good. It get caught in a car door. Where that would really affect him, obviously, swinging the bat, holding on to it.
Well, while their training staff tends to Martin Prado, tell you a little controversy in L.A. Everybody's picking the Dodgers. A lot of people picking them to win the World Series, and it's understandable. They have a wealth of talent. They have a payroll that of Liechtenstein, and the one thing people point out that could derail them, he's got to come out. One thing that could derail them as Prado walks off is controversy or that clubhouse blowing up. Well, today, Yasiel Puig showed up for batting practice when it was halfway done. So Don Mattingly took him out of the starting lineup. He put Matt Kemp in the starting lineup, who had come off the disabled list earlier in the day. Well, Kemp wasn't happy that he wasn't in the original starting lineup. Remember, they have Ethier, Kemp, Crawford, and Puig.
May I ask a question? Is this the great Philadelphia 76er teams that could never win in the NBA when they loaded them up with all the talent in the world and all they did was fight amongst each other? Well, Eric Chavez, the vet, has come on to play third base now. At the injured Prado, we'll try to get as quick as we can, but you know, he may have got a knuckle busted here. You see again on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, the rotation, and then it's 215 pounds of Charlie Blackmon pinching it against that base.
Owings fumbles it, and he'll never get Kadire. That's why you always run hard. That is a routine ground ball to short, and most guys go about 80% up the line. Not Michael Kadire.
Nope, plays the game the right way, that's for sure. Going to go over, and it's pretty easy little Christmas hop to him, right in the center of the body. He just hits on the heel of the glove. By then, forget about it. A lot of big league ball players, you wouldn't see that sprint out the way you see it on Kadire. And he's told me before. I mean, Harmon Killebrew talked to him about it with the Twins. Tom Kelly, as a manager, talked to him about it. And Ronnie Gardenhire, because Kelly still works in the minor league system, that he said, hey, effort doesn't take a day off. And there's some kid up here that's 9, 10, 15 years old watching you play the game. If he thinks you can coast at the ultimate level, then he's going to want to coast. And that's why Mike plays the game the way he does. But on to that controversy in L.A., too. They've now lost Brian Wilson. They've also lost Kershaw. Then I thought it was interesting that the pitching coach, Rick Honeycutt, comes out and says, I really think how we prepared for Australia and spring training and everything, it totally messed us completely up. That's why I got guys hurt. That's why we're not playing well. That's all the excuses to come out. And I could probably understand a little bit of that. We've seen players that go to the WBC that they go to, then they come back, and they're not the same guy because they don't have that daily routine of a spring training. When they leave, they may be gone 8, 9, 10 days, throw 3 bullpens, make 1 start, and then come back and they're behind time. Ubaldo Jimenez was one of those guys. Well, it happened to him with the Rockies.
Well, you can say that all they want. Rick can say that all they want, but they won 4 of their first 5 games.
Right. And I think, Rick's looking at the injured down there and what they're able to not get accomplished just yet.
This ball will not stay in the ballpark. Cargo, facade of the 3rd deck.
That new party deck got excited.
There was almost a parting gift for those folks who've made their way to the new rooftop. They didn't expect to get a baseball. They almost did. Second jack of the year for Carlos Gonzalez. 8-1.
4 RBI day for Gonzalez in this ball game. Thatcher brought in specifically to shut down the 2 left-handers. One hit a double, the other hit it on top, almost out of the park up on that 3rd deck.
Well, George, Cargo's visited that 3rd deck before, and I'm sure he will again before the end of the year. This one, a couple feet from settling in up there, only 32 times since 1995 has anybody hit a ball up there. Last guy to do it, Brandon Moss, June of 2012. Last Rocky was Cargo, July of 2010. That was his walk-off to beat the Chicago Cubs and, oh, by the way, complete his cycle.
Right.
He hit that 462 feet that day.
Tell you what, he threw a flat slider and everything started and just cranked and cranked, and that is such a strong man. I'm talking about getting some elevation. Thatcher was brought in to keep it a 5-run game, and it got to an 8-run in a hurry.
He got a bonus run because of the hustle of Michael Kadire. Tulo takes a strike, 3-2 on Troy. Larry Walker hit 5 in that 3rd deck. And Troy leans on one to right. Long run for Parra. He's not going to get there. And Tulowitzki has a base hit. Well, we invite you to stick around after the game for Rockies Real Time. This week on Rockies Real Time, with full access to spring training, the Rockies welcome you behind closed doors and onto their playing fields to see how much time and work goes into prepping for a big league season. Get all the sights and sounds from Salt River Fields with players and coaches mic'd up during all of their drills, as well as some time away from the grind as 2 top prospects take you to the golf course. That's Rockies Real Time. It's tonight after the game right here on Root Sports. That's going to be a great show. It always is every year. Ryan Morrison, a lot of guys working, guys and gals working very hard on Rockies Real Time and Rockies Weekly. Justin Morneau with the 1-ball count. Rockies got a run in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and now 2 here in the 6th inning. 8 runs on 13 hits. Welcome back to 20th at plate.
Good feeling, isn't it? Fun to be like this.
In the air to Trumbo and left. Rosario coming up. Well, the day after every Rockies win, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Assuming everybody will get to do that later on today. Moline 1 for 3, base hit back in the third inning. Two and 0. You're talking, we've done it so much about how professional Michael Kadire is. That first inning at bat, George moving a runner, the hustle there to reach. Cargo hits the 2-run home run. This ball in the air to deep center field. Pollock going back, still going back, and he's going to make the catch. I'll tell you a story that relates to how hard he works when we come back. Rockies got a 2-run shot from Little Pony. Little Pony hit a big fly. Facade of the third deck, 8-1 Rockies. Blake in front of a big sellout crowd. Rockies leading Arizona 8-1. Juan Nicasio has been superb. He's allowed just 3 hits as he takes the baseball in the 7th inning, and he becomes the first Rockies starting pitcher this year to throw a pitch in the 7th inning. The Rockies got just one quality start down in Miami. That came from Brett Anderson, who gave up 3 earned runs in 6 innings. That's the definition, the minimum requirement to have a quote-unquote quality start. He gave up 4 runs in the game, but one of the runs was unearned. Juan's ready to go. Miguel Montero, who hits 5th for Kirk Gibson, is 0 for 2. Nicasio turning things around in this start against Arizona. In his career, he had an 8.05 ERA against Arizona. Beautiful thing about fresh starts. Gorgeous pitch there. And it's 1-2. 2-2 on Montero. Ground ball to first. Justin Morneau, 1 out. Let's take a look at the Cooney Lexus look back. Rockies got a run in the first inning. Juan Nicasio with a nasty slider there. And plenty of offense today. Charlie Blackton is 4 for 4, including a home run. Cargo's driven in 4 with a triple. And that 2-run mammoth home run last inning. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address now open in Greenwood Village. Mark Trumbo at the plate. He had a solo home run last time up on an 0-2 pitch. So the story I was going to tell you was one we heard late in spring training. Our friend Mike Blowers, longtime big leaguer and broadcaster with the Seattle Mariners. We usually do a couple of shared broadcasts during spring training with the Mariners. Dave Sims and Mike Blowers. Blowers was playing minor league baseball, and he said, I had the great fortune of having Philippe Alou as my manager. Jeff Huston's always told many great stories about how terrific a manager Philippe was. Here's the 0-2 on Trumbo, 1-2. And he said he didn't feel great one day, and he was going to ask out of the lineup, and he kind of intimated that to Philippe. And Philippe came by and he reminded him, he said, "You're an everyday player, right? You want to be an everyday player." And that's inside, 2-2. And Blowers was a kid, said, "Yeah, absolutely." He goes, "Well, everyday players play every day."
Right.
Blowers went out there, he hit a home run, had 3 hits in that minor league ball game.
Up and in, a pitch that they wanted to go to 0-2 in his previous at bat.
And now he strikes him out. You got to hustle if you're Willeen. He's going to still get it to Morneau in time. Nice job by Willeen Rosario. The reason I told that story is we talk about the professionalism of Michael Kadire, just doing the little things every day. 2 outs for Chris Owings. 6 strikeouts in the ball game for Nicasio. Owings struck out in the second, hit a ground ball to DJ LeMahieu in the 5th. Softly hit into left center field for a base hit for Owings.
Get to the ballpark early on Saturday as the first 15,000. You're going to receive a Nolan Arenado collectible jersey, all courtesy of Toyota. So make sure you get out here to the ballpark. Take advantage of that. Be one of the first 15,000.
A.J. Pollock has struck out twice against Nicasio. 91-mile-an-hour fastball outside, ball 1.
Nicasio doing just what you want. Just 5 fly ball outs. One of those 6 strikeouts, 9 ground ball outs.
86 pitches, that's all, as he works with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Drew's talking about 87 total now, 63 strikes.
Almost 3-to-1 strikes to balls. That is just outstanding. Too low. And that's all for Arizona in the 7th. Juan Nicasio continues to deal. Stretch time at Coors Field. Home opener 2014 in front of a gorgeous crowd on a pretty day, and we'll stick around and honor our great country with God Bless America. Enjoy, everybody.
The Colorado Rockies are proud to host and honor those who sacrifice on behalf of us all. With us on the field today is Technical Sergeant Leslie Cook from Poto, Oklahoma. Joining Technical Sergeant Cook are his wife Amy and their 3 children Thomas, Tatum, and Bowden. Sergeant Cook is currently a military trainer at the United States Air Force Academy. He was recognized this year for rendering life-saving aid to 2 individuals on the same day in Colorado Springs, one while suffering a seizure and another during a diabetic episode. Sergeant Cook used his military training to calm the situation and stabilize both individuals until paramedics arrived on scene. He has received 2 Air Force Commendation Medals, a Joint Service Commendation Medal, an Army Commendation Medal, and an Army Achievement Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm Coors Field Heroes welcome to Technical Sergeant Leslie Cook and all of our nation's brave men and women, as well as the families of our heroes. We thank you for your service and sacrifice to our great nation. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the United States Air Force Academy Band, is Senior Airman Kristen Kazanave. Please welcome Senior Airman Kazanave and join her by singing along to God Bless America.
And he ought to be smiling, getting congratulations as his day is done. And what a day. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, a walk, 6 punch outs. He was dominant.
Well, there's only been one other Rockies pitcher go farther in the home opener, and that was Mike Hampton against St. Louis in 2001. He went 8 1/3. Let's tell you how important that outing was by Nicasio.
Brad Ziegler in the game now. First pitch swinging. Nolan Arenado grounds to short.
Chad Bettis would like to rectify what happened the other day also down in Miami. A little more slider and changeup type mode. That the Diamondbacks have gone to Brad Ziegler. He's got 78 ball games. A year ago, a workhorse, 8-1 record with 11 holes. That's that good luck charm down in that bullpen. You know, the guy that comes in, gets you out of the double play, you're down 3, and they score 4, and you get the W. That's how you get 11 wins out of a bullpen.
Brandon Barnes will be the pinch hitter for Nicasio. Waited nicely. It's going to hang in the air, though, for Pollock. DJ did a good job staying back. 2 outs.
The Games of Green initiative is back for the 2014 season, and new this year, a tree will be planted for every home run hit by a Rockies player at Coors Field. Well, guess what? A couple of trees will be planted today. Carlos and Gonzalez a home run. Charlie Blackmon a home run.
So Brandon Barnes got 1 start down in Miami. Will step up. Drive right center field. It's a tweeter. Brandon Barnes into second, and he's going to try to stretch it. And he'll get the third with another triple. Second of the day for the Rockies.
Side armor, and you'll see on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, you've really got to stay on this pitch. And that's exactly what Barnes did. Quiet front side, had a little bit of a slight stride, not a great big one. But then he was able to keep those hands back, the head on the baseball, and then he just drove it. And it's off to the races for the outfield of the Diamondbacks as they try to chase Barnes into third.
Here comes Mr. Perfect, Charlie Blackmon. He's 4 for 4.
Player of the game.
Just missing a triple, George. He's got 2 doubles, a single, and a 2-run home run. Most hits by a Rocky in a home opener. Aaron Miles in 05 threw out 5. Rockies' first base coach, Eric Young, threw out 4 back in '93. He had a big first one, too. And there it is. 5 for 5, and Blackmon drives home Barnes, his 3rd rippy of the day. He got a chance to start tomorrow, and the crowd recognizing what Charlie's done, giving him a standing ovation here. That's a memory for a lifetime for Charlie Blackmon.
I'm telling you, 5 for 5, the average at 533 now. Come on, Charlie. Maybe that beard thing in Boston works in the Mile High too, because I tell you what, all those guys had one. They played pretty good last year. Charlie playing great today.
Here's Kadire. It also is a new career high in hits for Blackman. He had 4 hits in a game on 4 different occasions. The last time coming September 19th against the Cardinals of last year. He finished really strong. He was the Rockies' best offensive player, or one of their 2 best offensive players in the final 2 months of the season.
No question last year. Didn't he hit 382 in September? There's some crazy number the way he swung the bat in September last year.
And there's another base hit for Michael Kadire, his 3rd of the day. And he's swinging it like a batting champ.
Hey, Justin, I told you it's kind of nice to hit in this yard. He's looking at the board with 16 hits and 9 runs for the Rockies. Talking about Justin Morneau, the former teammate of Kadire, when recruiting him to come here play and put on a Rockies uniform. And you got a ball that stayed out over the middle of the plate. And just pulled it to the left side, and now you're in that spot where why didn't somebody else get to face Gonzalez?
Cargo a 2-run triple in the 3rd, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning. The ball he hit out in the 6th inning almost should have counted twice. He hit it so far. Charlie Culberson's going to pinch hit for Tulowitzki next, get Troy off his feet in the final couple of innings.
Crushed. 3rd deck. Go get it.
Got a 2-0 pitch to work with. 3-0. There's Troy, so he's fine. A smart move by Walt Weiss. And sometimes I think people at home will say, what's the big deal? So he doesn't play 2 innings. Is that really saving his legs? But to an everyday player, it does help.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it allows you to stay in the area where you are, and you're in an active position at shortstop. So a lot of movement there, probably more than there is in a lot of other positions.
Well, now the bases are loaded. Tulo said, wait a second, man. Let me get one more in, man.
Maybe we ought to talk about this, huh?
So Charlie Culberson will pinch hit. Troy was 2 for 3 and a walk today. And that hit him, forces in a run. Ouch for a moment, but I'll take the ribby, and the Rockies have hit double digits, 10-1.
Not even close with this hard sinker. Backed way up and ends up just caught him right on the knee. Man, that had to not feel good at all.
Well, the Rockies have blown past the 7th spot. So who wants tacos? Everybody. Fans, the Rockies have scored 10 today. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Bases loaded for Justin Morneau. Oliver Perez, now at this stage of his career, working out of the bullpen.
Good job a year ago, but Perez a late spring training sign. He was a free agent right up to the very end of the start of the season. They needed a left-hander. He had a good year. He agreed to a favorable contract. Kevin Towers had him in San Diego.
Morneau didn't like that strike call by Mike Malinsky. 2 strikes on Justin Morneau. Ziegler got the first 2 guys in the inning, Arenado and LeMahieu. Then a triple by the pinch hitter Brandon Barnes. As you look at the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo, and that did look low. Rockies tack on 2 more. 10-1. They're beating up Arizona today.
My guilty pleasure is reality TV.
I have at least one CW TV show that I have to watch, no matter what.
I wouldn't say that my wife gets me on The Bachelor, but I kind of like it too.
I watch the Tomorrow People. That's just my guilty. It's not like Vampire Diaries or anything, but it's somewhat, I guess, a guilty pleasure.
That's fun stuff. The clubhouse confessional. 10-1. The Rockies leading Arizona as we go to the 8th inning. Rockies made a number of changes defensively. Charlie Blackmon, George, who's the player of the game, isn't he?
Yes, I think he should be player of the game. Not co-player of the game, player of the game.
He's moved to left. Drew Stubbs has come in center. Brandon Barnes is in right. So Gonzalez, Kadire, and also Tulowitzki out of the game, resting here in the final inning or two. Charlie Culberson stays in at short. And Chad Bettis is on the hill.
Now the right-hander got scuffled a little bit down in Miami. It'll be a good opportunity to come out. You got a big lead, get a little work done. A year ago, appeared in 16 ball games, earned run average 564. He did strike out 30, walked 20, gave up 6 home runs in those 44 innings.
1-1 on Tony Campana. Campana is pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. To short, Culberson just did get him. Campana, as you can see, runs very well. What do we always say? You jump in the game, the ball finds you.
You think so? Yeah. Campana runs really well. Well, they've had a few jump ins with all the changes they've made here, with Bettis coming into the ball game. Bettis still going to hit 9th, though. Everything else pretty much straight up. I guess not. I'm looking at the Coors Field scoreboard, so maybe they didn't listen, Doug. Apparently they did not. Stubbs second, Bettis third. You got it.
Final line again for Juan Nicasio. What a beautiful performance.
It was a great performance.
Just 87 pitches, took him through 7 innings. A run, the home run by Trumbo, 4 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts. Dominant, efficient, worked quickly. Well done. 1-2 on Gerardo Parra. And Bettis got him with a splitter, and Parra trying to reach Will. Strikeout, wild pitch. Aaron Hill, a double. Line drive down the left field line his last time up. Heavy fastball at 94, missed in, 1-0.
Chad, a closer at Texas Tech. A little bit of that mentality from his college days, and then moved to the starting role, so now back into the bullpen role. Possesses a good fastball, anywhere from 92 to 97 miles an hour. Slider split, that fastball swung and missed at the bottom half of the zone at 91. Had some heavy sink to it.
Two and one. He has closer stuff. Once he is able to establish himself, but the arm and the mix, he figures to pitch late in ball games. This ball pulled to left and the corner, and it's going to be another double in all likelihood for Aaron Hill. One out, 2 on for Paul Goldschmidt. The Rockies square off against the Diamondbacks again tomorrow. Tune in for the pregame show starting at 4:30 in the afternoon. Rockies and Diamondbacks tomorrow, only on Root Sports. Let's correct that. We have written here on the card 4:30. It's actually a 5:30 pregame, and that's what the graphic says. Okay, graphic says 5:30. Card I have says 4:30. So it's 4:30, George, if you're watching on the West Coast.
Right.
Right.
So it's just that first read that you did was for the subscribers on the West Coast.
Yes.
So then you read the one for the Mountain Time people. Are you going to do one for the Central and East?
No, I
just pass on those.
You have to do your own math. Paul Goldschmidt behind 0-1. How about Goldschmidt yesterday? Hit another home run against Tim Lincecum. His career numbers against Lincecum, 12 of 23, with 6 home runs and 13 driven in. This is back up the middle, and it's going to get
save a run
through.
DJ
got through. DJ got through the dirt part, and with that, Goldschmidt now has a 26-game hitting streak, and he drives in yet another run.
I'll tell you what, DJ did a nice job saving. I know it's a 10-1 ball game, but Chad Bettis sure appreciates that on that defensive side of things. Wilt Lopez has started to warm up down in the Rockies bullpen. The ball right on the outside part of the plate and down. A good pitch by Chad Bettis, but his momentum as a pitcher falls off to that first base side, so it's difficult to come up with.
Eric Chavez. First at bat for Chavez.
You got to shut this thing down, and he basically just sat down.
No word on Martin Prado yet. He got his either got spiked or his hand jammed when he was applying a tag on Charlie Blackmon at third on an attempted stolen base a couple innings ago. 1-2 on Chavez, who did such a good job coming off the bench last year for Kirk Gibson. Here's the play that he got hurt on. Prado.
Well, it's the heel pinching the little finger, those last two knuckles against the base by Charlie Blackmon. Nothing dirty about it. It's just the way a lot of guys would swipe tag or quick slap tag.
Blackmon in left will make the catch, and the runner at third, Aaron Hill, did not tag. Well, he tagged, but didn't try to score.
Nice job by Charlie. Going to circle around the baseball to get his momentum going towards home plate when he received the baseball, and then a strike thrown to Nolan Arenado.
2 outs, Miguel Montero. Ball 1-93. Montero's 0 for 3, ground ball, fly ball, and then another ground ball. Hit it to Mayhew, Blackmon, and Morneau.
I'd like to see Bettis get out of this thing with only 1 run getting in. It was a strikeout, wild pitch, and advanced it. And then a couple of hits given up in the inning. But what you want to see is to shut down the inning against a very good left-handed hitter and not allow any more damage. More for yourself than anything else. From the mind standpoint, after what happened in Miami to him the other day, make a pitch here and get out of the inning.
That's a pitch right there. 94 on the black, 1-2. Talking about the Dodgers earlier. Puig getting benched today. Giants in the 7th inning, leading in LA 8-4. Fouled off.
Atlanta over Washington 2-1. Philly over the Cubs 7-2. Frisco and the Dodgers 8-4 at this point in the ball game. Milwaukee beat Boston 6-2 today.
Well, they ruined the day for the Red Sox. That was their home opener. They got the rings before the game, big ceremony, but then Milwaukee went out, won the baseball game.
Milwaukee's got a dangerous team. The other day was pretty good. Braun's only can DH right now because of a thumb issue, but he's, still swinging the bat. That's the most dangerous part of him anyway. White Sox trail in Kansas City 7-4. They'll be here Monday.
And this is popped up shallow left field. Blackmon will come on, settle underneath. In the inning, there was a run on a couple of hits. 10-2, the Rockies leading. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By AT&T, Rethink Possible. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. It is a purple day in Lodo, and the Rockies 10 runs, 16 hits to please this sellout crowd. Ryan Roland Smith, or excuse me, it's Oliver Perez, not Roland Smith. Oliver Perez is now in the ball game.
Well, a year ago, pitched very well. 61 ball games that he pitched in, 3.74 earned run average, 74 strikeouts in 53 innings. Has reinvented himself as a reliever out of the bullpen, a specialist out of the bullpen. Of course, everybody goes back to his days in San Diego in the National League West. When he first came up, they thought the comparisons of Fernando because of his success when he won 13 ball games in a Padre uniform.
He had a great arm when he came up.
Well, he's still got a good arm. It's just not 97 anymore. Battled command issues. Now all of a sudden got the strike zone down pretty good.
It's a ground ball to Owens. That'll bring up Nolan Arenado. Perez, the last couple of years, George was talking about his numbers with Seattle. He had a 5-year stint with the Mets. Best year in 07 with New York, he went 15-10 in 29 starts. And Arenado lifts it to left center field. Pollock, 2 outs. Charlie Blackmon, the hitting star for the Rockies, 5 for 5, 3 RBIs, including a 2-run home run and a couple of doubles. Carlos Gonzalez, 2 for 4 and a walk, 2-run triple, 2-run home run. And Juan Nicasio was just brilliant. 7 innings of 1-run baseball, just 4 hits allowed. LeMahieu is 1 for 3, an intentional pass.
So let me see, if you get good starting pitching and you catch the baseball, some timely hits, what happens? You win a lot of ball games.
You usually shake hands.
Yeah. Get interviewed by Jenny or Mark or somebody on the field. You get to the post-game show. You're in headlines of the paper the next day. There's all kinds of great things happening.
Pretty good deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a wonderful deal.
I don't understand why guys don't sign up for that every day.
Well, you'd like to. You'd like to. Unfortunately, some days that the other team practices a little more. You don't get to shake every day.
Two and two.
Tell you what, he'll show you a bunch of different rotations of his hips, hand action, movement, a lot of deception to his delivery. Let's see which one he tries to pull out of the hat here.
He missed at 94, and DJ walks for the second time in the game. Brandon Barnes will get another opportunity. Got his first hit of the year with a triple to right center an inning ago. Perez just balked. So LeMahieu, LeMahieu will go to second.
Start, stop. What did he do? Yep, he started. See those hips start to rotate. He knew he did it. About 7-8 years ago, he'd have fell apart too.
Jorge De La Rosa will make his second start of the year tomorrow. Arizona will counter with a Colorado, Brandon McCarthy, Colorado Springs. Two and one, 2 outs. LeMahieu at second base.
It's difficult to pick the ball up because of that turn at the upper half and then the hand. You want pitchers to take their hand right out of the glove and let it fall and stay on the body line. Perez with that slight turn still keeps the hand on that body line, and then here it all comes right at you. It's difficult to pick up.
Outside 3-2. Command has always been the question mark. First 4 years in the big leagues for Perez. And some of those years, big volume innings, George, he always struck out more than a hitter an inning. He had a career high at 239 with the Pirates in 04 when he went 12-10.
Still possessing the very good velocity. 94, the location down and away. Not trying to give him anything on the inner half where they can turn on the baseball.
Walked Barnes. Guess who's coming up, George?
Player of the game, Charlie Block. Could be co-player of the game, but I'm saying it could go either way.
Here's what his afternoon has looked like. Double to right center field. Base hit through the right side. Big fly. Base hit. And we didn't show you the double. We had another double.
Oliver Perez can't throw a strike all of a sudden.
One and one. Now 2-1. Oliver Perez hit the big leagues in 2002. Yet he's just 32. He's pitching on the Coors Field mound today in the Rockies home opener. Rockies up 10-2. 2 on, 2 outs in the 8th. know, the 4 outfielders that were competing for the top spot in center field, the guy at least batting average wise, who had the poorest numbers in March in Scottsdale, was actually Charlie Blackmon.
And that proves the point. Another hit. Give it to him.
Oh, had a 6 for 6 out. Charlie, get to third. Nah, I can't do it. If it was anywhere close, he would have tried. It would have been a cycle. Charlie Blackmon, a 2-run double, 5 RBIs, 6 for 6. Wow, what an afternoon.
Man, I hate to do it, Charlie, but I may have to just give it to you by yourself. Juan was so good today, but man, oh man, are you kidding me? 6 for 6. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo sliced that fly ball down the left field line for a double. Charlie watching, hoping it stays fair, and it does. As it curls down into that corner, Trumbo's going to hustle the ball back in, but not before 2 runs scored. The last 6 for 6 day eyewitness was Kirby Puckett in Milwaukee, was 6 for 6 in 1 game.
What an amazing performance, and he just went in the Rockies record book. He ties the team record for most hits in a game. He now shares it with the Big Cat.
Most consecutive games, most consecutive hits. How many is there? Dougie, I'll get you busy again.
2 games, Juan Pierre, 9.
There you go.
Galarraga did it against the Houston Astros in 1995. And Drew Stubbs is thrown out. That'll end the inning. The Rockies have scored 2 more. 12-2 as we go to the 9th. You want to start the home portion of your schedule. Now let's go to center field, where if you don't have a Y at the end of your name or your nickname, you're not invited.
Hey, I like that. That means it's Jenny, Spilly, Huey. I got it. Coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show, our first one here at Coors Field, the 2014 season. Lots of fun. I think we're going to talk about 6 Charlie Blackmon hits.
Charlie bit them and it hurts.
Really hurts. Oh, Charlie Blackmon, 6 for 6. Going to be fun to talk about him. Then every party needs some tacos. That's exactly what Carlos Gonzalez gave the Colorado Rockies fans today. Tattooed a home run. That'll be fun to talk about. And Jeff, we can't leave without talking about some great pitching.
Yeah, it was a wonderful debut.
That's exactly what it was. It's all coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show. It's probably going to be a pretty serious show, Drew.
Yes. It looks like you have the start of a very serious show out there. And I guess Frasier and I can't come out there because we don't have a Y at the end of our name. Well, actually, you know what? Going way back, it was Goody. We can call you Frasier. Georgie. We'll go with Georgie.
No.
Not invited, huh?
We're not invited, pal.
Wilt Lopez, by the way, throwing for the Rockies.
Bettis worked an inning, gave up a couple of hits. He did have that strikeout on a wild pitch, allowed to run on a base hit to score. To take a look at Wilt Lopez's numbers from a year ago after this pitch. 75 ball games, 408 earned run average, or 406 earned run average on the year, 75 and a third, 48 strikeouts. He did give up 6 home runs.
2-1 on Trumbo. Ground ball, deep short. Arenado. And his throw is not going to be in line with Morneau. Good job just to get there. It'll be an infield hit for Trumbo.
See a little bit over the pull for Charlie. He's stepping over thinking he had it on the back foot to be able to make the throw, cut off by Arenado, then an errant throw over to first base. Still a base hit for Trumbo. You know, the third deck here at the ballpark was jam-packed. So now here you are in a game, 12-2, it's opening day. Guess what? It's still got a great crowd in the third deck. They're like, well, wait a minute, I bought overnight tickets.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back. Food's good. The beverage is pretty good right now.
Line drive, deep left field. Guess who's there? Chuck Nasty.
Player of the game, made another catch.
That's his Twitter handle, folks. He'll add a few followers, I'm sure, after the game. 12-2, Rockies leading. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. A.J. Pollock. The numbers on Galarraga's 6-for-6 performance back in July of 1995 against the Astros. 4 runs scored, a double, 2 home runs, and 5 ribbies. Blackman came up a home run shy, but he has 3 doubles, and he's matched Galarraga in RBIs with 5. Hard to drive in 5 from the top of the lineup, isn't it, Jordan?
Pretty hard. That bottom's got to work good for you.
That's going to sneak through the left side. Second single allowed by Lopez, and Cliff Pennington's going to come up. He'll pinch hit for Perez. This is shallow left, and Charlie gets there.
Player of the game. Another catch.
2 outs.
Just 5 putouts for Charlie, too, so needs 1 more to match the hits.
He's 5 for 5 defensively, 6 for 6 offensively.
Did he steal a base, too?
No, he got
He
caught
got thrown
stealing.
out at third. Did he get over at second, though?
No, he did. Let me double check. No, he didn't steal a base. He did down in Miami. Did get thrown out today. That gives him a bunch of demerits. So
But he broke a finger, maybe. I mean, there's all kinds of things went on today.
Yeah, hopefully he did break the finger of Prado.
He obviously didn't do it on purpose.
No. $49,130 is the official crowd, and that is a sellout. And everybody's going to go home happy. Some of the Diamondback wads made the trip.
A couple of guys downstairs not going to go home too happy, and that's Kevin Towers and Bob Gebhardt.
Oh, and 2 on Parra. And that's fouled off. There were only 2 players, Dougie just handed me a note, only 2 players last year in the big leagues had a 6-hit game. Alex Rios and that sensational young shortstop from Milwaukee, Gene Segura.
I told you, the last one I actually witnessed and watched was Kirby Puckett against Milwaukee. He had 6 hits.
I remember when Rennie Stennett went 7 for 7. This is a comebacker. Wilton's got it. Lob to first. Game, set, match. What a terrific way to begin the home portion of the 2014 campaign. In front of a sellout crowd of more than 49,000. Welcome back to 20th and Blake, everybody. Rockies blow out the Diamondbacks 12-2 as Charlie Blackmon goes 6 for 6 and drives in 5. Juan Nicasio outstanding. Cargo had a big day. It was a perfect Friday afternoon, and to tell you more about it and review everything you may have missed, let's go to center field and Jenny Kaplan. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, thanks so much. The party in Lodo is going to continue on the Toyota postgame show. You won't want to miss it. These two, between them, they're still adding up Charlie's hits for the day. Stay tuned.